Hey, yo. So, hold up, let me get the Ric Flair out. There we go. Listen, man. I did a video of this last night. It was too long for my liking. I listened to it over a couple times, deleted the whole thing because I just didn't like how long it was. I felt like I could just get straight to the point rather than going on tangents, I guess what I would call it. So, let me just say like this. Pretty much what I was talking about last night that I'm going to get into right now is how you need to know, how you're going to know if you need new friends, which I know a lot of people like me do, which is kind of why I stopped hanging around my friends already, only because, we don't think the same no more. And by think the same, I mean we don't. What they find interesting is so I kind of, I guess, quote unquote, grew out of. So pretty much, I'll say three things. 3 ways to know if you need new friends or you need a new group, And the only reason it's good to realize this or recognize if you need a new friend group is because the people you hang around the most is who you become like. It doesn't matter if they do stuff, especially if they do stuff that you never supported or you no longer support or you no longer partake in, because you're eventually going to get sucked right back into that if that's not what you want. And depending on the people you have around you, if they don't strive for much, you're going to be the exact same way eventually, sooner than later. And I'm the type of person who wants to aim for more, And I realize that a lot of my friends don't have the same idea of what more is, which, like I said, I'm not even knocking any of them right now. I'm just saying we just don't see eye to eye to where we want to be in life. So I think it was time for me to either move on, cut ties, and keep pressing. But the first thing I want to get into right now, how to know if you need new friends, is if you notice how you feel whenever you're around them, whenever you go out, whenever y'all are hanging around. You see, a lot of people, you may not realize this. I didn't even realize it, but it's kind of like, you know though, that whenever you're around certain groups, whenever you're in certain places and areas, and when you're around certain people especially, you speak in a different way. When you're around your parents, you tend to cuss less. If you don't cuss at all, kudos to you. Whenever you're with your friends, you tend to cuss more. You tend to be a lot open about shit, you just let it flow. When you're around kids, you talk to them like they kids, you know where I'm getting at. You speak a different type of language depending on the people you're around. And if you notice that with your friend group, like especially me, for example, a lot of the shit that I thought about as I guess started to grow really in here, my height really hasn't changed at all. So that's why I'm like kind of saying grow. I've really just changed my mindset. As my mindset changed, I noticed that a lot of the shit I really wanted to talk about, a lot of the shit I wanted to say, a lot of the shit I was concerned about, as a matter of fact, especially, I knew that if I kind of brought it up like as a regular conversation topic, which I really would want to do, rather than talk about other people's lives all day and talk about the next thing we were going to do, I knew it was either going to get pushed to the side or it was going to get shut down. And with my old friend group, they just really didn't seem to care, which is why I never bothered to bring it up. I would just kind of go along with the flow of the conversation, just let them guide it. But with the new friend group that I had found, I call myself finding, they were the exact same way, but it was worse. Because some people in there weren't all like that, They weren't all trying to shut it down. Some of them were actually trying to talk about actual shit. But the main person, I'm not going to put his name out there, but he knows who he is. I doubt he even watching my videos, so I don't really give a fuck anyway, even if he did. He was very prominent of shutting that type of shit down, where it would be talking about actual, some shit, real shit, I guess I would put it. And he would be so quick to shut it down and change the topic and talk about something else that really didn't mean anything. Talking about other people, talking about bitches, talking about drugs, I guess. What's the moves with that? How we gonna get fucked up next? All type of shit. And I'm not just talking about some illegals. I'm talking about even drinking. Shit, even if you count nicotine, that's a mind-altering substance in a way. Coffee, that too, but ain't nobody want to get fucked up on coffee unless you just weird. But yeah, like it would just be really, they'd be really quick to shut shit down, and it just kind of became like second nature just to leave that shit out the conversation and just talk about shit that really didn't matter. Oh, that's a big ass spider. Ooh. But yeah, notice how you feel whenever you're around your friends, and really think to yourself, are these people who you're gonna see in your future when you want to succeed and when you want to do more? Are these people who are gonna ride along with you, or are they just gonna watch from a distance? Just think about that, please. Second though, what do y'all do whenever y'all are together? Because my idea of friends now, I guess, or a good group to be around, are people who want to succeed with you, and by that, they put in the work with you, they support you, and shit, give you advice, you can learn from them, they learn from you type shit. See, like, I'm putting them on blast now. A lot of the people I hang around, they seem to be know-it-alls. Where if you tell them something that you think is interesting or new or some shit like that, like you probably could think it help them, like, oh yeah, I already know some shit about that, yeah. And they put some kind of general statement out there, like, yeah, kind of just shrug it off, shut it down type shit like that. Like, going back to the shut it down, first point. They're just know-it-alls, you know? And they seem like they don't have to learn anything new. Like, they already got life figured out, which in reality, none of us don't. Like, I'm talking about my ass. I don't know what I'm talking about right now, but I'm just talking from my personal experience right now. Is that people who claim to think, or not even claim, but people who just believe that they have life figured out and that they know all that they need to know for their life in this life, just observe what they do. Because a lot of my buddies, really all they do now, which is sad, which is they probably don't even want to believe if I just put it in this kind of statement, but go to work, hang out, get high off whatever they do, because, you know, everybody does drugs nowadays. Can't deny that. And repeat. Whether they do any of those things a different way, whether they get a new job, whether they get a new set of friends, whether their friends do something slightly different, but it's kind of the same thing. They're just doing the same thing in a different spot, different place for different people. It's the same thing. It's really the same thing. A lot of my so-called friends are really not entirely productive. Going to work, maybe going to social events, that's not really productive. That's keeping you busy type shit, which is why I've never really been a party person, because I never really saw the point. You could do the same thing anywhere else. But a lot of people put a lot of their energy and attention towards getting together and having fun. But when it comes to actually doing like something meaningful, the closest thing they get to that is going to work and get money, just to support their lifestyle of having fun. So I slowly had to realize that that wasn't my crowd. As much as I fuck with them, and as good as I got along with them, we really weren't doing anything. And as I got to this point now, I just really wasn't gonna roll with that. Last thing to understand and to realize, if you need new people around you, is to realize what is the reason y'all are friends in the first place, or what is maintaining your relationship now. Because what I realized is that not all of my friendships started out like this, of course. There were actual genuine friendships. We were there because we enjoyed the company of each other, and that was really all we needed, which was why I feel my friends have changed. That was the big change, is the reason they still have me around, or I had them around, like that. Didn't really matter how the order is, but if you realize that your friends are only around because of what you can provide for them, the value you give them, which is on a physical level, because now that I realize nowadays, the only way that we were hanging out, I'm speaking from my experience, the only way that we were all linking together is if you had something to provide, which was, in my case, a way for us to get fucked up. If you weren't bringing any weed or no money, you were not coming. If you didn't have your own means of transportation, if you couldn't drive somebody from point A to point B, I have no reason to hit you up. If you don't have a plug for me to use, you'll never hear from me for a long ass time until I need that again. A lot of my friends nowadays, I realized they'll only hit you up when they need something. That doesn't go for everybody, of course, but the majority do. You will not hear from them unless they need something from you, or unless you can provide something from them possibly, because they know what you about. And especially in my friend group, the way we all turned out, I feel like after I turned 16, man, it became very prominent in the group that the only way we were hanging out is if we were smoking. And if that wasn't going on, we were going to figure out a way to. And if we didn't get to, it wasn't as fun. It wasn't a good time. Unfortunately, that's the way it was. That's the way it is still, I feel like. It sucks to even say that, too, because it wasn't always like that. And I feel like that's why it changed, because it was almost like a passive, it was almost like a very, very sneaky thing that kind of like made its way into our reality, you know? Like, as long as I've known them and as close as I got with these people, ever since I moved in this state, period, I've had that, connection with them. It's like, of course, thinking about it, you wouldn't want to believe it because, like, these are, like, consider them family. You spent so much time with them that you were like, nah, it's not that deep. We just getting together because we homies and type shit like that. But a lot of people, if you look closely, and I'll never forget when this dude said this too, I didn't say anything in the moment, but it's still stuck in my mind, fresh in my mind, like he says it every day to remind me, is his friendships are almost like, not almost, his friendships are based on what you can give me and I shall give back. He said he didn't mind. I'm just kind of paraphrasing this right now. I'm like not saying it word for word, but he said he got me because I know I got him back. Now hearing that, you just like, I mean, shit. Yeah, y'all got each other's back. Y'all got each other. Y'all there. But it was only if he knew. A lot of people too work like that nowadays, where they only give if they know they'll get something from you in return. Whether it'll be the exact same favor or it'll be another kind of value you can bring them. Like I said, in the business world, that works because that's how businesses ran, where I give if I can get something in return. That's a proper investment. But when it comes to friendship or just being a good person, period, I don't believe that's how you should work. That's only, like I said, for business. And if you treat friendship like business, you shouldn't have any friends, period. Because that's just, I wouldn't even call it a dickhead mindset, but you're just misplacing business with friendship, And I noticed that the more people that I found who were similar, who had the same mindset as I did, where I just wanted to smoke all the time and just have a good time, a lot of people were very willing to support that. But ever since I've changed my mind and I've wanted to grow and go for more and actually do something meaningful and productive, it's been very lonely. Like I said, bro, on no depressing shit, but I don't see any of my friends anymore because they know, even though I haven't really outright and said, yeah, I've changed, I'm woke now, nigga. No, it's not even about being woke. It's just, I don't really see the same fun and the fun we used to have, or I don't really see a point in just hanging out all the time. Doing something productive, you try to bring your friends along, if they're not ready, they won't come. And you can't convince them either, because, shit, they're nowhere to be found. And like I said, I still got mad love for everybody, bro. Everybody that I hung out with, everybody who knows me, there ain't no hard feelings at all. It's just that we don't think alike anymore, unfortunately. And for me to do more with my life, I can't be around people who are just gonna be doing the same thing. Like I said, I'm not even knocking y'all, bro. It's just that we don't see eye to eye. And I feel like if you and your friend group don't see eye to eye, and y'all aren't really on the same, I'm not even gonna use that word. That sounds way too philosophical. I was gonna say frequency. If y'all in the same wavelength, if y'all really don't have the same mindset, I'm gonna just keep it at that. You shouldn't be hanging around these people. You need to find like-minded individuals. Like my parents always tell me, is that you need to surround yourself with people who think like you. And that means that your group or your friends might change up. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because a lot of our kids, a lot of people our age, we value loyalty, but you can be loyal to the wrong people. And I guess that's really the situation I caught myself in. I was willing to break my neck and bend over backwards for people who really didn't give a fuck. Like, they just really gave a fuck about what I could bring to the table. And if that wasn't on the table, no matter what kind of shit I was going through, that's raps. We'll see you next time. There's only one person I can give props to for helping me out in my most harsh time. Yeah, it was a hard time. As much as I put on the facade and the mask that I was just kind of chilling and it was probably like the best time of my life, it was a hard time for me whenever I was going through it and I didn't really have a place to go because I called myself wanting to be grown and type shit. So yeah, it was a hard time and there was only one person who really could come through for me. But even him now, hardly hear from him, hardly hear from them, hardly hear from those, hardly hear from theys, all the people, every person I've really talked to and hung out with. Yeah, they just kind of watch. It's kind of weird, but it's cool though. I appreciate the views. But yeah, that's just 3 things to understand and to realize if you need to surround yourself with new people, because it's important, very important, to realize that, so you won't find yourself stuck. Because in the midst of all that, you will never realize you're stuck. Because it's hard to realize you're in a cage if you're deep inside of it. But looking from the outside in, you realize how stuck you were. And it's hard to get yourself out of it because you've been in it so long. So you're just like, man, like, especially me being ignorant, I can call myself ignorant. I'm a very ignorant person. I do not like to believe. I don't like the idea of me being wrong or me making wrong decisions, but that's really what led me up to the point I got to get to where I am now. That I made a lot of wrong decisions, and I stuck around with people who didn't really have my best interest at heart. They just, like I keep saying, they liked what I could provide. It was a give. You give and I'll give. And we'll stay doing nothing together. Misery loves company. It sucks, but it's true. Yeah, man. I'm gonna make another more serious video because I got a lot of ideas flowing right now, but I wanted to get this out. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope you guys look over these 3 things and really apply it and really understand it, because it sounds like I'm just kind of teaching y'all, but I'm just giving y'all an experience and giving y'all my point of view of what I had to go through to realize that these friends of mine were really not my friends no longer. But yeah, I'll see y'all in a little bit.